Soldiers in an American city could put Trump on the wrong side of the law again.
There is concern over violating the Posse Comitatus Act.
The Posse Comitatus law says that the U.S. military cannot engage in police functions on U.S. soil.
That's right, Posse Comitatus. It's a very serious...
Basic level, it's just shocking how many alleged pedophiles Trump was friends with. Epstein, Prince Andrew, and Diddy. I mean, that's a lot, you know? I mean, think about your own friend group. You know, how many pedophiles do you know? One.
Desi Lydic and Colin Jost didn't just roast Trump. They shredded his ego and his spray tan budget like someone tossed everything into a blender and cranked it to max. One moment he's posing like a golden statue at Mar-a-Lago, and the next he's getting verbally body slammed by two comedians who treat chaos like a weekend hobby. So buckle up, because if you thought political comedy was fading away, this duo just brought it back with fireworks. Ready to see how hard they cooked him? Let's get into it.
What happened here? America voted this guy out in 2020, and what has he done since then? He tried to overthrow the government. He was convicted of 34 felonies. He spent an entire campaign promising vengeance against his enemies. And if you're wondering who, after all of that, would want to back him up, well, buckle up. It's a long list.
The former president winning with a coalition driven by white voters, men, and first-time voters.
Young men in union households.
Those older voters.
Voters age 45 to 64.
Those younger than the age of 4.
A pharmaceutical executive collapsed in the Oval Office on Thursday. And speaking of pharmaceuticals, whatever they've got Trump on, I want some. Because just look how chill he is during all of this. He's just standing there. He's literally...
The second Desi stepped on stage, a whole storm of satire broke loose. She went after Trump with the kind of excitement you'd expect from someone finally allowed to say everything the group chat's been too scared to type. Her first hit of mockery landed like a caffeine-charged comic book villain out for pure revenge.
Hear more about this very serious legal principle.
Look, I believe strongly in Posse Comitatus.
Indeed, Trump is truly in violation of Posse Comitatus. That's to say nothing of his violations of the...
Then Colin jumped in with this calm, calculated precision, stepping into the spotlight like a scientist ready to dissect a loud, lawsuit-loving creature. Trump instantly became the perfect specimen, as Colin described him marching through public life like a VIP who doesn't realize the velvet rope isn't actually for him.
Government shutdown in history finally ended after 43 days. And you know, first day back in the office, you gotta check all those piled up emails. House Democrats released an email written by Jeffrey Epstein in which he claims that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls. It's bombshell news that legal experts are calling duh.
And the more Desi described him, the more Trump sounded like a guy who collects gold furniture the way toddlers collect stickers, showing off every shiny piece without noticing the disaster around him. She laughed through each line, savoring the chance to roast someone who spent decades begging for praise from literally anyone with a pulse.
That Trump charm to put a ring on it.
It would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Aww.
As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale. And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
But this was a clear rejection from Canada. I'm sure Trump will handle this maturely and not like a thirsty little...
Never say never. You know, Canada loves us and we love Canada.
Canada is not going to you.
Colin came back swinging with the energy of a coach watching game footage where the star player keeps scoring on the wrong team. Trump's public strategy turned into this highlight reel of confusion, random confidence, and plot twists so wild any editor would reject them for being way too unrealistic.
You know, in general, I don't really believe in conspiracies because as a member of the Illuminati, I know that we, the lizard people, control everything. And it's really hard to believe that Trump was so oblivious that he didn't notice his good friend was running an international pedophile ring. Though I guess Trump is the one guy on earth who thinks YMCA is a straight anthem.
Desi grabbed the spotlight again and treated Trump's campaign events like a traveling circus filled with conspiracy merch, pumped-up promises, and crowds stuck inside a theme park built on slogans and denial. She turned every speech into an epic of mispronunciations and tangents disguised as wisdom. By the time she was done, Trump sounded like a motivational speaker for people who chose wishful thinking over evidence. And that hunger for praise set up Colin's sharpest lines, turning Trump into a guy who collects compliments the way other people collect cheap gas station magnets.
To rebuild it, and he wants to turn it into Mar-a-Lago. At least the Palestinians will have a place to go back to.
Donald Trump calling for the permanent resettlement of roughly 2 million Palestinians.
I don't think people should be going back to Gaza. I think that Gaza has been very unlucky for them.
And he says he's willing to use the U.S. military to do it.
We'll do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that.
Okay, just so I'm clear, your idea is to take over Gaza, rebuild it into Mar-a-Lago, and make sure that the Palestinians who live there can't...
With a wicked grin, Desi tore into Trump's legal drama like it was a teen show where every episode ends with someone claiming they did nothing wrong despite all the evidence. She described his courtroom expressions like soap opera auditions from someone who never read the script. Then Colin jumped in again, comparing Trump's post-political branding to an overproduced perfume commercial selling the scent of denial. He painted Trump as a man who signs autographs for himself in the mirror and keeps them for future museum exhibits. Every line landed harder, and the crowd's laughter rolled like thunder.
That gives him a lot of leeway to gently correct Trump every time he spews bullshit.
I mean, this war costed all of us a lot of money. And this is the responsibility of Russia, because the aggressor is Russia.
Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid. We paid 60% of the total effort. And it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money.
Look at that smile. The guy is smitten. Usually if someone confronts him about being wrong, he takes away their security.
Colin went after Trump's business slogans next, calling them motivational posters written by someone who skimmed a dictionary once in the 80s. He made Trump's promises sound like a magician pitching a pyramid scheme after losing the rabbit and selling the hat. Then Desi jumped to his fashion sense, those outfits screaming royalty but looking like leftover costumes from a budget pirate movie. She diagnosed him with gold addiction, decorating everything like a treasure hunter who never found treasure. Colin finished it off like an art critic, breaking down the surreal painting made by someone who thinks reality doesn't deserve dialogue.
Tuesday, Zohran Mamdani was elected mayor of New York City. He was elected. A lot of Sliwa fans. He was elected mayor despite his opponent Andrew Cuomo receiving endorsements from Donald Trump and Eric Adams, which is like trying to bring a girl home by saying, not to brag, but I have hepatitis B and...
Desi took the mic again and turned Trump's relationship with technology into a full disaster movie, like watching a man try to use a smartphone powered only by rage. Every tweet, every typo, every glitch became a dramatic scene in a digital circus nobody could put out. Colin countered by exposing Trump's obsession with looking powerful, turning it into an endless midlife crisis performed on the world's biggest stage. His dramatic poses looked like a soap opera actor trying to look heroic while signing restaurant menus, turning political visits into full reality TV episodes.
Time where it's like there was such a different standard for what you could overlook in a public discourse.
We're also in a time where facts don't seem to matter. Everyone just has their own facts. Everyone in his cabinet, these media outlets, there's no such thing as fact-checking anymore. It's a desperate need to drive the narrative, to have control over the narrative that overrides anything. So it's we're in a very, very strange time.
Colin kept the heat on by describing Trump's crisis management as a carnival ride fueled by improvisation and pure overconfidence. Trump jumped from talking point to talking point like an athlete who forgot the sport he signed up for. Desi stepped back in, roasting his bragging like a man listing achievements from a dream he refuses to admit wasn't real. Every inflated number became comedy fuel. And Colin used Trump's dramatic pauses and random detours to squeeze out even bigger laughs.
I traveled to the Middle East this week, and if I were him, I would have just stayed there because it looked awesome. Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia, where he was greeted with a lavender carpet which matched the color of his tie, and also the length. They also rolled out a mobile McDonald's truck for President Trump's visit, featuring Saudi Arabia's most popular new burger, the McJournalist.
Desi's next hit landed like she'd already won before she even opened her mouth. She didn't call Trump a villain. She painted him as a full cultural phenomenon built from ego, glitter, lawsuits, and nonstop chaos. Her final lines exploded like fireworks. Colin wrapped it up with a smile that said Trump had been completely demolished. He crowned Trump the accidental icon of comedy, fueling monologues, sketches, and specials for years. Desi wasn't done, though. She dove back in, comparing Trump's reinventions to repainting a collapsing building and calling it luxury. His comebacks looked less like strategy and more like a broken alarm clock that keeps ringing even after the batteries are gone.
Kind of hanging on for dear life at this point. The first go-round, it was obviously intense, and going into it, we all had a lot of feelings about it. I would say that the news cycle picked up pretty significantly the first time that he was in office. Those 4 years did feel like a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and that the news cycle was constantly turning over. But now it just feels like it's been multiplied by thousands.
Colin slid back in like a cleanup crew with a flamethrower, roasting Trump's on-camera confidence like a wrestling storyline no one told him was fake. He strutted through interviews like he expected fireworks every time he finished a sentence. Desi followed up by tearing apart his hero complex like she was flipping through a scrapbook of delusions, painting him as someone who wakes up convinced Mount Rushmore is waiting for him. Colin hit again, mocking the way Trump gives legendary narration to even the smallest tasks, turning a sandwich run into a conquest and filing paperwork into a national emergency.
The National Committee protested President Trump's plans to accept a $400 million luxury jet from Qatar by flying a banner over Mar-a-Lago reading Qatar-a-Lago. It's the kind of hilarious stunt that makes you realize why the Democrats will never win again. Ethical experts are also warning that Trump may owe political favors to countries who give him lavish gifts. But based on the way he left the Middle East, I think I know how Trump is going to pay them back.
Desi closed with full victory lap energy, proud of the comedic wreckage she and Colin had left behind. Trump, in her final version, wasn't fading from relevance. He'd become permanent comedy infrastructure, the structural support beam of satire itself. She leaned into his myth-making until he looked like a glitter-covered monument to unchecked confidence. The crowd exploded with the relief they'd been waiting for, and Colin sealed the night like the closer after a blowout game. Trump wasn't just roasted, he was immortalized as the greatest recurring character comedy never asked for but can't stop laughing at.